The day humanity accepts Atlantis as historical fact will mark a turning point in our collective identity. For centuries, we have been taught that civilization began only a few thousand years ago with Sumer, Egypt, and the Indus Valley. To acknowledge Atlantis is to admit that advanced civilizations existed tens of thousands of years earlier, with knowledge, technology, and spiritual understanding far beyond what we believed possible. Mentally, this would shatter the story of human limitation. No longer would we see ourselves as primitive beings slowly climbing toward progress. We would know we are heirs to a legacy of brilliance, survivors of cataclysms, carrying within us the memory of worlds lost. That awareness alone would change the psychology of humanity from one of smallness to one of greatness. Practically, history books would be rewritten. Archaeology would redirect its focus towards submerged ruins, deserts hiding cities, and myths once dismissed as fantasy. Governments and universities would fund explorations of the oceans and forgotten lands. Religions would be deeply challenged, because if Atlantis fell in floods, then the great flood stories in the Bible, Quran, and countless traditions are no longer allegories, but eyewitness accounts of a global event. Faiths would have to integrate the truth that humanity has risen and fallen before, and that divine guidance has always accompanied these cycles. Technology would also change. If Atlantis had advanced science, even fragments of rediscovered knowledge could revolutionize energy, healing, and communication. The old separation between myth and science would dissolve. Spirituality and physics would finally speak the same language. But perhaps the greatest transformation would be personal. The realization that we are not the pinnacle of history, but the continuation of a much older story. That humility and that empowerment held together would reshape how we treat ourselves, our planet, and one another. The question is, when this truth comes to light, will humanity use it to repeat the mistakes of Atlantis, or to finally create a world that lasts?